Hey friends, it's Tracy from Country Charm by Tracy. Thanks so much for being here today. Guys, I have some winter wonderland DIYs and crafts to share today here with my community. Also, I'm participating in the Mystery Box Challenge, the very last one for 2025. Now, most of our viewers are familiar with the Mystery Box Challenge because it's been going on for over 5 years. But if you are stumbling on this video and watching it for the first time, welcome. And you're thinking, what in the heck is the Mystery Box Challenge? Well, that is founded and hosted this month by my friend Courtney of Creative on the Cheap. And so she gets a group of us YouTubers together. We send boxes to each other. There's some criteria, like a list of what we need to do, a theme. There's also some challenges, some twists, and all of that good stuff. I'll get into that in just a second. Now, my box this month went over to Whitney of a Whiskey and Wit, and you know she is going to rock that box because she is a phenomenal creator and everything she touches is magic. I can't wait to see what you create, sweet Whitney. And then my box came from Emily from Farm Charm Chic, and so I'm excited to open her box and see what she sent me because I get to craft and create with those items. Now guys, on the screen I will put what the criteria for this month is, and this is a Winter Wonderland, the December Mystery Box Challenge, the theme Winter Wonderland. And so we are supposed to send 10 different items, but you'll have to check out the playlist at the end of the video that is going to have all of the videos from all of these talented creators that are in this DIY Mystery Box Challenge. All of the videos will be there, so you could just watch them or come back to the playlist, that kind of thing. I'll also have a link in the description box below. Okay, guys. Now, this is, like I said, the last Mystery Box Challenge for 2025, and it's a special one because it is the RAK, or the acronym for Random Acts of Kindness. Guys, we are in this season of Christmas and holidays and all of that stuff. And so just really quick, thank you so much for your continued prayers. I lost my husband unexpectedly in July, the summer of 2025. And so he had a unexpected widowmaker heart attack. And so this is near and dear to me as well, because being a widow at 57, you just never know when things are going to happen. And I have had people come out of the woodworks and, just do so many random acts of kindness for me and my family. And so this is taking on a whole new meaning for me this month. It's near and dear to Courtney's heart as well, because her mom passed, and that was something that she did. Her mom did all of these random acts of kindness, and that is brings her joy. And so there is some of us were like, what do we want to do? What do we need to do? That kind of thing. But there is a list. I'll have it linked, everything in the description box, so that you can easily find just random things that you can, pay for someone's coffee, or, you can, do this or that. It'll give you kind of some just different suggestions. But also the best thing is just to wear a smile and just make eye contact. And, you can give someone a hug or a kindness just by making eye contact and giving them a smile, because a lot is in the eyes. Anyway, so we're not going to get into that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open my box from Emily, and I'll tell you what the items that she sent me for this mystery box. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open this up and see here. All right, we have this cute little card with this cute little green truck. It says, Tracy, you're always such an inspiration. Oh, thank you, Emily. Your work is truly beautiful. I know you'll do something amazing with these items. Your crafting friend, Emily. How special is that? Love it. Okay. Ooh, yummy. A sweet treat. Thanks, Emily. Awesome. Okay. So let's see what we got here. We have Craft Challenge. Okay. We'll put the challenge items to the side. Item 1 is Cinder's Choice. So we have this bell. All right, that's item 1. And so item 2, Cinder's Choice, Rusty Star. I could do something with this. Item 3 is Cinder's choice as well. So we have some candy cane napkins. Oh, these are so cute. So cute. Item 4 is Cinder's choice. And so we have this box that looks like a book. Looks like that. All right. Item 5 is the white item. So we're going to say this is the snowman. Cute little snowman. All right. Item 6 is cookie cutter. So she was so sweet and sent all of these gingerbread cookie cutters to me. Cute. Look at that. Okay. Item 7 is sparkly item. So we have the little glitter, the little glittery eucalyptus stem here, just like that. Item 8 is wood. So I got a set of gingerbread wood men. They're tied with cute little jute, but they're separated, little wood cutouts. Number 9 is the challenge choice. Okay, that is the challenge item. So I put those to the side. So we're going to open those next. Okay, so we have a challenge number 1, and that is Cinder's choice. And so we're going to open this. So she picked this out for me to do a challenge with. Okay, what we got? So we have these condiment containers. So I have to create something with those. I love the color. That's really cool. And then this is the one, this is the twist that she needed to, this is challenge item number 2, movie item with the smiley face. I don't know, is that, I'm good. Pick a Christmas movie from the list. So she'll tell me which one is here. And so I need to make a DIY using this twist item. So let's see what's in it. Okay. And so she sent me the little snowman and the little pipe, snowman clothes. That's really cute. Hobby Lobby is just really coming out with all kind of fun things. So I need to make a DIY using your movie theme challenge item. So I need to create a DIY with that. All right. So let's go ahead and get into these DIYs and crafts. This project is using the bell, and so I took off the pine and the bow because I'm not going to use that. And then to act as a little bit of a primer, I'm using Boss Bond by Dixie Belle, and it used to be called Slick Stick, but they changed the name of it. Anyway, I'm using Antique White, which is kind of like a I don't know, a light brown color. Anyway, that is the name of that color that I'm using. Then I'm giving it some dark wax around it just to give it that rustic look. So for the wood handle for my bell, I have this 7 3/4 inch wood spindle that I got from Amazon. I'm just using my antique wax just to give it a stained look. Then I'm going to be making like a little floral greenery arrangement. I have this poinsettia that I actually took off from a bigger poinsettia that's kind of like the center of it. And I was inspired by one of the Essential Stencil rub-on transfers that I'm going to be doing a little picture that goes along with this project here. And so I'll show you that next. But here real quick, what I'm doing is using some Excelsior just to glue around my bell so that I have something for my greenery and all of my embellishments to stick into. And this looks absolutely gorgeous. I am just so in love with it. And so right here, this is the inspiration for my project. It is from the Cozy Cuddles Christmas rub-on transfer, or the winter rub-on transfer from Essential Stencil. And so I love using rub-on transfers in my project. So what I did, guys, is I just created this cute little frame to go along with the bell, and I just love it. Okay. Now for the Rusty Star that has like the little curly rusty wire on it. I just put that at the top of my bell, and it just is the perfect addition for this whole project. And so, again, many of my projects can be found in my shop over at countrycharmbytracy.shopify.com. I appreciate your support and love seeing all of your names come through. Some of you I recognize, some are new friends, and I am so appreciative. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the next project. This cute project is using the box. Now, I loved the pages part of the box. It almost looked like candy canes to me, kind of like muted candy canes. So that's what was the inspiration for this project. So I'm pulling out this paper, this coordinating paper. Now, I was going to use this Scandinavian Christmas essential stencil rub-on transfer, but I ended up using a different one in the video. But I wanted to share just a tip. Mod Podge did not work on this box for some reason. I don't know if it was just whatever the sealer or whatever was on it, but I'm glad because I ended up changing my mind anyway. And so I just wanted to share, if you're working with rub-on transfers, you can put it on scrapbook paper, but just make sure that it's clean and it doesn't have any kind of sealer or anything on it, because I can't get mine to work if I have Mod Podge on my scrapbook paper. So I switched gears here and using this cute snowman from the Cozy Winter Cuddles from Essential Stencil. And I'm going to be using this cute little snowman because it kind of goes along with the theme that I have going on. Also, that cardinal, that red bird is so super cute as well. All right, so what I'm doing is just adhering that to my clean scrapbook paper, just taking my transfer tool by Essential Stencil and just rubbing over it to get the transfer off. Now, what I do is I kind of peel back, and if there's any of the image still on the paper, I just lay it back down and rub until I get all of it off. Then I take that plastic and go over it, kind of rub over it. It's called burnishing, and that just kind of sets that image there. Just for a little extra, I like to take my dark wax by Kills and go around the image as well as the edge of the box, just to give it a little bit of definition and just kind of bring out that image a little bit more. This is how I make my little bows, just with my mini bow dabra. I got that off of Amazon. I have some floral wire that I'm going to be binding everything together. I have some greenery berries, as well as some of that baby's breath from Hobby Lobby, some sisal grass, and some strips of fabric. This cheesecloth is something that I got also from Hobby Lobby in the sewing section. I just cut that apart. Again, I'm just trying to use up some of the things that I have, and so I had that pack. All right, so I put the piece of the bind wire down, then I just kind of start layering on, looping my fabric, just layering the sisal grass and the cheesecloth and the berries, and then just tie that all off with the bind wire. Now, what I found is that I really liked the back side of the bow a little bit better, so I'm using that side, and so that it doesn't cover up my image, I'm going to be trimming off a bunch of that fabric so that it just gives me the accent and not covers up my little snowman here. And then I just add a few pieces of that baby's breath, little flowers, and this little project is so cute. Now, I just, when I was doing the project, I wasn't even thinking that I could use this as a gift box. And so I should have covered the whole entire thing since it's yellow inside. But, if you get one and it has a different color, you could always cover it up with scrapbook paper and make it a gift box. Basically, a gift in itself. This project is using the candy cane napkins. pulled out this thrifted frame that I've had on hand for a while. It's pretty heavy. It was like $2.99, and someone really loved it because this thing is very well made and it had layers of paint on it. And so I loved it because it was that green color, but at one time I think it was black because there was a lot of, different colors underneath there. Maybe they put some gold on there as well, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I am going to be putting some scrapbook paper, and so I'm going to be using that insert of that frame for my backdrop. And so I pulled out some more plaid scrapbook paper from that paper pad that I have been using from Hobby Lobby. Then I'm going to stack up several of these candy cane napkins together to make it look dimensional for my project. And so I glued, because they have lots of layers, and so I just glued them. If they weren't glued together, I just kept gluing them with hot glue. And so then I'm just taking my distressed ink and just going around it to give it a little bit of a rustic touch to that. Then attaching my candy canes there to my that's going to be the backer for my frame. I'm going to be putting a swag at the top, so I left a little bit of room up there at the top. And this, just to add more sparkle, I have some of this glitter paint, and I'll put it there on the screen for you. And I like that. It just gives a little bit of sparkle to my projects. I also highlight the berries on the candy canes with some red stickles, just to bring them out a bit more. So I let that dry overnight so everything is ready to go. So then I just put my frame back together, and then now I'm going to work on my swag. And so I have, just different greeneries and just different pieces of just eucalyptus, frosted eucalyptus. I also have some little berries in there. And so I just tie all that together just with some bind wire. Then I'm using a little bit of that glittery, sparkly eucalyptus that was in my mystery box and added it to that. Then for the bow, I just have some of this gingham homespun fabric, and I'm going to be making a bow with that, just using my little bow dabra, kind of like what I do. And the reason I'm showing this part is because I get questions or comments all the time about the little bows that I have on my projects. And so this is my process. I use this little bitty mini bow dabra that I got from Amazon, some strips of homespun fabric, and just rip it so it has tattered edges. I just go back and forth with the homespun fabric. I have some cheesecloth. It just depends. Sometimes I add sisal grass in there. I also have 2 of these rusty jingle bells. I think they're 35 millimeter. I got a container of them from Hobby Lobby, and so I'm just using those here in this project. Now I added a little extra piece of that green bind wire because I'm going to be making some curly cues, and so that first piece of bind wire I'm going to use to add my jingle bells on, and so then those other ones I'm just going to twirl it around a paintbrush handle and just make some curly cues. This project is using one of the cookie cutters, these cute little gingerbread cookie cutters. Now, when I took them apart, I discovered the adorable gingerbread man that is underneath there. So I put him to the side because I'll be using him on another project because he is so super cute and can't be thrown away, right? The cutting board is from Hobby Lobby. I picked it up during the Valentine's season. I love it because they're just great surfaces to work with. I'm going to be using this gingerbread cookies stencil from Essential Stencil, and I'm going to be using the back side of the cutting board, and I love it. It has a little heart up at the top, and so that really just matches my gingerbread cookie stencil and all that kind of stuff. So I gave it some antique wax like I'm going to do like the chippy effect. And so now I have a little taper candle or a little candle, tea light candle. That's what I have. And so I just ran that over that. And then I just have buttermilk paint. This is by Dixie Belle. And I'm just going over wherever I put that candle. And so, or actually, I just painted the whole thing. But wherever I put that candle, then I take my paint scraper and then kind of scrape over that. And it takes a little bit of that off of there and gives me that chippy finish that I want. This stencil gingerbread cookies, it actually is the recipe for gingerbread cookies. That is from Essential Stencil. I am a brand ambassador, and I will have some information in the description box and also my code to get an extra 10% off if that's something that you're interested in. CC by Tracy 10. All right, so I taped off some of that I did not want to get. I just wanted the homemade gingerbread cookies. I'm also using my Essential stencil brush and just offloading some of that paint. I'm just using red acrylic paint, offloading it on that paper towel, going in a swirling motion so that it doesn't give me the bleeding or anything like that. And so sometimes I may have to do 2 coats if it's not like dark enough, but that works really, really well. All right, so then for my gingerbread cookie, I have this modeling paste that I picked up over at Hobby Lobby. And so that is what is going to be the icing for my gingerbread man. Now, I did this on a day when I could let it sit overnight. And so I just used a little stick just to kind of spread that around. Went around the edges a little bit just so that it kind of acted as glue to keep my cookie cutter on there. That's the only reason why I kind of had the icing kind of like quote unquote spilling over. And so then I have some sparkly glitter. I just sprinkled that on there and then put that to the side and let that dry overnight. So now what I'm doing is I'm filling in my bridges from the stencil, and I just have my little detailing brushes, and it's just where the gaps are between the letters and stuff like that. And so I'm just filling in those little bridges. That's what they're called. And so then I'm going to go and add a little bit of highlight to my letters just using some white paint because I do like to have my letters kind of stand out a little bit. Once everything is all dry, I'm going to go ahead and add some dark wax because I just love the rusticness of that. Then I'm going to, for my bow, I'm just going to add some greenery, some berries that I had. I'm also going to add some homespun. I just cut it in strips. I add some sisal grass and add that to the top of my little cutting board here. And then I just took a little strip of the homespun and added like a hanger for the little cutting board just to add a little bit of interest to the top. And this sweet gingerbread cookie cutting board with the cookie cutter is just perfect. And I'm just absolutely in love with it. This is the wood item, and it is this 3 little gingerbread men, and I gave them a coat of cocoa. I love this color. I think it's my new favorite for gingerbread men, and that is an Americana paint color. And then I'm going to turn these into ornaments, and so I have these squares that I got from Dollar Tree. So I pulled 3 of those out and then gave them a coat of buttermilk back and front. And then I'm going to do what I call the faux plaid pattern. I just have just a wispy brush. I got this paintbrush at Dollar Tree. I love this. It's kind of like in the arts and crafts section. I think it's for kids, maybe for, their painting or something like that. But I love it so much. And so I'm just giving it like the stripes. And then I'm going to go back just with my little detailing brush just to give it some white, just to kind of add a little bit of interest. Then to roughen it up or give it that rustic look, I'm just using my dark wax by Kills, just going around all of that to give it a little bit of darkness. I took the dark wax and added a bit of that to each of the gingerbread men, and then sanded off around the edges just to expose a little bit of that wood. Then for the eyes, I have my dotting tool, so I just took the one that I wanted and just gave them two eyes just like that. Then for the little squares, I just took my little ultrafine marker and just gave it a little bit of doodling just to give it the look that I like for that, for my little ornaments. And then I have to add some paint splatters because, that's what I love to do. I add black to my little blocks, and then I just add some buttermilk to the actual little gingerbread. I was going to leave them plain like this, but, I'm a little extra, so I have to add some icing. And so I just took my little flat paintbrush and just added a little bit of icing around their arms and their legs. I just added some black stitching around each of the blocks, as well as some black Sharpie marker just to bring out my little gingerbread man. I just love all the little doodles and all the little things that just bring my little projects to life. And as I say, the beauty is in the details. And so to add the wire, I'm just using this bind wire. I find a lot of uses for this bind wire. And so I'm just taking my needle nose pliers and just curling that down and securing that so that it can be a little hanger, a little ornament, just a little gift for somebody special. And so then I am just going to glue the gingerbread to the little plaques, and it's just adorable. And so I added a homespun bow. I also added some tiny buttons to their belly. I added some raffia just to add, just for a little interest to my ornaments. And I just absolutely love how these turned out. And I know these are going to be snatched up very quickly in my web store at countrycharmbytracy.shopify.com because I have lots of friends that love gingerbread men. Alrighty, this project is my movie DIY challenge item. So I'm using quite a few of the items from my mystery box. The snowman clothes that was actually part of this movie DIY. I'm also using the snowman. And so, Emily, you did very well by fixing me up for some Frosty the Snowman. That is the movie DIY that I'm going with. And so I have the silk hat, I have the scarf, I have mittens, I have the corncob pipe. I also have a perfect snowman, and I didn't realize it till I started working with him. And I know I'm going to be doing a little surgery here, but I needed to take him apart so that he could be melted. And so then I realized, oh, he has a button nose. And so again, perfect. Emily, you did a great job. So for the melted snow, I just am going to be using one of these chopping mats from the Dollar Tree. I just drew out, just guesstimate it, and then just cut it out. And so that is going to be the melted part of Frosty's body. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want my Frosty to set on this melted ice. And so the coal for his eyes is actually that was on that snowman, on the snowman's head. And so again, perfect. I tried to put the eyes a little bit droopy or a little bit looking weird because, he's melting because he was in the greenhouse. And so he's melting. So I'm taking part a little bit more because I want a little height for Frosty as he's kind of, melting. Poor Frosty. So I'm just trying to figure out how I am going to put this here. And so then I just glue everything down onto this little melted snow and ice. So I'm also using the condiment containers that was a challenge item as well. And so these are so cute. They actually look like to me look like little terracotta pots. And so I'm like perfect for my little Frosty the Snowman movie DIY because he was trapped in the greenhouse or the little flower house or whatever. And so we need some flowers to go with our Frosty the Snowman movie DIY here. So I'm taking a few of the sparkly eucalyptus and just putting those in one of those little quote unquote terracotta pots. And I'm just using some succulents that I had on hand because I did not have any mini poinsettia flowers that were the Christmas flowers that were in the greenhouse. So this is just for pretend. So I'm just using what I had on hand, and I think it is absolutely adorable. And I just love my little Frosty the Snowman movie DIY.